So it is 7:30, and so we are going to go ahead and get started. February 7th, black and white competition, projection. February 14th, bee competition, projection. February 21st, critique night. As we have always handled it, limited to 3 photos. Send them into info@clevelandphoto.org. Put critique in the subject line so I know where to direct them. And then Mr. Ader will critique your photos and give you suggestions as to how you can improve them. February 28th, photojournalism. And that is the last. Photojournalism is not a competition, but it's the last photo event of the season. February 6th, street photography with Dave Bush. This is going to be the 3rd attempt at this. Hopefully the weather's good. I just got this today, and so I threw this slide together at the last minute. The Western Cuyahoga Audubon Society has sent invitations out to various photo clubs in the area. They're going to have a speaker, Kathy Neugebauer. It's Cosmic Wonders, Exploring the Hidden Beauty of Our Night Skies. I went on her website and checked it out. Phenomenal pictures of galaxies and Milky Way, and it's just beautiful. So I think it should be an interesting presentation. It's February 4th, Tuesday night. I will have a link in the website. So if you're interested, Tuesday night Zoom presentation hosted by the Western Cuyahoga Audubon Society. iPhone photography class. Starts in the spring of 2025. I'm very happy to say that we already have 18 people signed up. So I'm expecting big things from the iPhone photography class. Winter school classes. Fundamentals is in progress, as is Photoshop. Lightroom starts February 3rd, and I believe you can still sign up. So if you're interested, sign up and get in at the last minute. Mat cutting, February 4th, and I didn't take January 21st off of there. I should have taken that off. February 4th and February 18th. Gone through this slide multiple times. It's a wonderful deal. $3 to do a single mat, $5 to do a double mat. You can do custom mats. Come in and take the class from Dennis. It's well worth it. It's on the honor system. After you take the class, anytime the clubhouse is open, you can come in, put your $3 or $5 in the envelope, and cut a custom mat for yourself. I am very pleased to say that we have somebody that has stepped up and is going to take over the treasurer position for us. So now I'm pushing hospitality chair and competition chair. Check out the website for more details. And with that, we'll get started on the photojournalism presentation this evening. Yep.
Okay, first one is Bob Kowaleski. First image. Is this the first one there? The first one is called What? No cell phone coverage? And what? No cell phone coverage? How am I going to find my car? Save the oldest Ohio culvert. Save the oldest Ohio culvert. Work is underway in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park to reroute water flow to reduce the erosion and ultimate undermining around the oldest culvert in Ohio. From flames to fishing. From flames to fishing, the revitalized Cuyahoga River, fishing for steelhead trout in the upper Cuyahoga River in our national parks. How awesome is that? Why, Daddy? A daughter, truly a gift from heaven, talking to Daddy about the wonders of the sea, the earth, and the universe. A precious moment never to be forgotten by Dad. And what is an F-road? In Iceland, you have paved, crushed lava and roads which require special vehicles and are normally restricted for most rental vehicles. These roads are the interior country road system, oftentimes not maintained and stretch into areas that are visited by only a handful of visitors.
Yeah, the following images are from Bonnie Luxco, and this first one is called Clydesdale Hooves. The Clydesdale Hooves visited Venice, Florida, and I wanted to show a close-up view of their hooves instead of the entire horse. Soccer skirt. Our 5-year-old grandson played soccer, and his teammate always wore a cute skirt. This is sunflower dog. While walking through the sunflower field, I found this set of sunflowers. The way the two smaller sunflowers were growing on either side of the large one made it look like a cute dog to me. I especially like the center of the large flower because it looks like a dog's nose. It's amazing how your imagination can run wild in the sunflower field. Yeah. This is Hot Air Balloon Chase Van. While attending the Hot Air Balloon Festival in Canton, I found this sign on one of the chase vehicles. I thought it was very creative. This is Bubble Fun. The Bubble Man entertained the children at the Cuyahoga Falls Balloon Festival. The children were so delighted and the expressions on their faces were full of wonder and joy. And this is Hot Air Balloon at night. Usually I shoot the balloons during the day to catch all the designs and colors. One night I spotted this silhouette and thought it was unusual and different.
Go ahead, David. Okay, my first 5 images are all from the grand opening of the completely transformed Natural History Museum in Cleveland. The Cleveland Natural History Museum spent $150 million and 10 years completely renovating and updating and changing their museum. And they had their grand opening on December 15th, just a month and a half ago. So if you've been to the museum, this dinosaur probably greeted you. In the 1950s, the museum decided it needed a dinosaur to tell a natural history story. And so they commissioned a college undergraduate and 3 high school students to go out and find them a dinosaur. And they started in 1954. In 1957, they found Happy in Colorado. Happy is, let me see if I can pronounce this, Locanthosaurus. That's pretty close, maybe. He's 72 feet long, and he weighed 25 tons. And he's been on display since 1961. When they did the renovation, Happy got changed a little bit. You see, his tail is raised up. Originally, the tail was lying flat in the exhibit, but new scientific research indicated that this large dinosaur probably walked with its tail raised to balance its head.
Dave, I have a question. One on the most amazing part of the story I find is they needed a dinosaur, so they got some high school kids and said, "Get me a dinosaur."
Yes,
And then they just went to Colorado and found the dinosaur.
yes.
That's amazing to me.
Okay, in the completely new renovated museum, this picture is taken of another dinosaur. It's in what they call the visitors' hall, and in the visitors' hall they have Happy. They have quite a few other dinosaurs. Before I continue mentioning what's in the visitors' hall, let me say that the visitors' hall is completely free. And anyone can visit the museum and all the exhibits in the visitors hall. So in the visitors hall, we had Happy, we had Bato, the sled dog, the Balto, the sled dog that brought the medicine. We have Lucy, we have Moonrock, we have gemstones, we have famous 300 million year old fish that's 29 feet long and weighed 4.5 tons. And all these exhibits are in what they call the visitors hall and completely free to the public. Go ahead, David. Okay, this is Lucy. Lucy is probably one of their most famous and most popular exhibits. She's also in the visitors hall, and a lot of information about her. She was found by the museum's curators in 1974, and at that time, she was the oldest humanid ever discovered, and she was like, I don't know how they do this, 3,180,000 years old. It's amazing how they can date these things. Okay, while I was at the museum, I was particularly interested in fossils, more so than the dinosaurs. And this one really caught my attention because it was found in Chagrin Falls. And Lucy is 3 million years old. This guy is 372 million years old. How do they know that? I don't know. Found in Chagrin Falls, so it's a local find that I really found to be interesting. And one more from the museum. They have had for years a couple acres outside of the museum where they house live animals that are native to Ohio. They have quite a few animals out there. They have this red fox, they have a bobcat, 3 different owls, hawks, bald eagles, sandhill cranes, otters. And these are all animals that for one reason or another can't survive in the wild. And they have a raised walkway where you can walk around and see all these animals. It's really neat. Okay, and my last 2 images are from an event that I covered just 2 weeks ago tomorrow for community service here at the club. This man is dancing. He's Stephen, 12-letter Greek name. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. His initial is G, though. And the Stephen G. Cancer Foundation, its mission is to build community and support for adolescent and young adult cancer community. So it was founded by Steve's parents. Steve was diagnosed with cancer when he was 15 years old and wasn't expected to survive too many years. He's in his mid-30s now, but when he was 15, his parents started this group, the Stephen G. Cancer Foundation. And it has a $750,000 budget, and it's reached out into a lot of different areas to support adolescent and young adult cancer survivors. So the event that I covered was called Storytellers Soiree. And the Cancer Foundation publishes this magazine, Elephants and Tea. And you can see at the top it says the elephants are the elephants in the room is cancer, and the tea is the relief that conversation provides. So it was Storytellers Soiree. And these three young women were the storytellers. Virginia on the left, it's Adriera in the middle, and she's the cover girl for the December issue of the Elephants and Tea magazine. So she's pointing at her picture there. And the lady on the right's named Jennifer. Let me take just a moment and tell you a little bit about Virginia's story. She was interested in the brain, in particular the parietal lobe. Throughout all of high school, and it inspired her to go to medical school. And her parents and friends all expected her to get into neurology because of her interest in the brain, but instead she studied pediatrics and general health. And 10 days before graduating with her medical degree, she was diagnosed with brain cancer. And she underwent surgery that removed part of her brain that was the part of her brain that she was interested in originally when she was a younger person. So she has graduated. She has a fiance, will be married soon, and if she hasn't already started her residency, she'll be doing that very shortly. Okay, David, thank you. Those are my pictures.
Okay, we have 4 images from Graham Stead. The first one he entitles The Wave. This was at Pride Parade Cleveland 2024, waving at bystanders. This one he calls Pride Feet and Flag, again at Pride Parade of Cleveland 2024. And this one is Performer, Parade the Circle, again Cleveland 2024, adding an air of turquoise and mystery to the parade. And his last image is Irish Feet, taken at the St. Patrick's Day Parade in 2024.
My first one is music from the field, and this was from the Civil War reenactment at Hale Farm and Village, and these soldiers were also very talented musicians. This one's Bozo Selfie. Kind of grown-ups love Halloween too. I shot the Summit Metro Parks annual Truck or Treat event for them, and I love the eyes on this guy, but it was just a great moment. Car show I can't even say it, octogenarian. This gentleman's over 80 years old. He's a retired tool and die maker, and he's still driving his first car. He totes his trophies in the back and got his dice in the front there. And he still has the original bill of sale and window sticker. This is Comforting Charisse. Prior to retirement, I worked in various programs for people with disabilities. The woman on the right has dementia, unfortunately, and the other woman is her good friend, and she cries quite often, and every time she cries, Teresa is the woman on the left. Teresa always comforts her like it's the very first time she's ever cried. This is Patient Dad. I also volunteer for MedWorks, and this is their dental clinic, and they have a little table for kids while they're waiting for their parents or themselves to get dental treatment, and this little girl was, fixing up Dad's bald head. This is another one from the same event. It's called Ready to Go, and I thought rarely does one see a person happy about dental care. This candid shot embodies the trust of children. This last one's called The Interview. Dantes Taylor, who's pictured here, has been living with ectoderma pigmentosum. It's a rare and incurable disorder that they discovered when he was probably about 10. He can't go in the sun. His skin has absolutely no protection from the sun at all. So he's had hundreds and hundreds of skin cancers removed, and he's blind. He decided he'd like to run for city council, and part of my job was to work with people like Dantes, and he wanted a headshot and for his campaign. And so this was, the one that he couldn't see it because he's blind, but this was the one that I described to him, and I took it, and he ended up saying this is the one he wanted to use. And he's not in city council, but he wanted to run for it.
That is impressive. Hey, Jordan Tetzel, 1293. 1293, the first boiler engine locomotive you see when you walk into the roundhouse. I assume this is the B&O roundhouse, probably. 1293, true size. Our tour guide, who is not a small man, stands next to one of the largest hunks of iron you will ever see. The 763. The size of these engines make it difficult to capture the entire thing in one shot, even with my 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens. Repairs. A worker repairs a train that was in some old movies. The roundhouse. I take it this is not B&O. This Age of Steam roundhouse is right outside Sugar Creek, Ohio. Buy your tickets ahead of time and take a tour through the storage and repair facility. A worker removes a pipe from inside one of the train's engineer rooms. And tourists. A few gentlemen ogle at the inner workings of one of the locomotives.
Okay, the following images are from Kim Wachaleski. And the first one is called Mini Pride. The Pride Festival was one of the most colorful and love-filled events I have ever been to. This little girl was in the parade and really embodied the Pride theme. This is Glitter Blessings. Among the parade participants in the Cleveland Pride was this minister who was giving glitter blessings on foreheads along the way. And this is Spreading the Love. Cleveland Pride Parade 2024. All ages, shapes, sizes, beliefs were abundant here. I love the emotion of these youngsters while marching.
This is Leslie Nutt. West Side Market moment. A woman finding some peace in a crowded, hectic place. But where's the woman? Wait, go back again. Am I missing midway? Oh, got it. Okay, thank you. Richard Ader. And these are a few from China, from Beijing and the Yangtze River. In the old city in Beijing, I like to do basically people, and in this I found most fascinating not just the scenery, but I would be looking constantly at the benches on the side, and I found this group just trying to get out of the hot sun, just all sitting, all looking at something that was going on over to their left, and they're all just a little turned like that, and I thought it was just a fun collective shot of a street scene in the old city. This is a couple asleep on the bench, and I found this very cute. Is usually you see someone asleep on a bench and whatnot, but here the man and the woman holding hands were just both soundly asleep. And I am telling you, I shot from quite a distance away when I do candid sometimes, but here I was able to approach close. I could have used a macro lens down at the end because they were totally zoned out and asleep. But it was a sunny day, it was nice, and this is just in the middle of Beijing there. This is very interesting. You will see this all around the big cities, mostly Beijing. You'll see it sometimes in Shanghai. And these men, and mostly men, I haven't seen any women do this, he is painting, usually in parks, on the sidewalk, and what that is a sponge brush, and they dip it in water. They have a can of water with them. And what they do is they write old Chinese fables and short stories on the ground, and this is supposed to impart luck and good fortune to them, and they just enjoy doing it. You know, the extensive calligraphy and whatnot, they just are going around, they do this, and it's water, so basically a few minutes after they're done or whatnot, it all, about 20 minutes after it's done, it evaporates and is gone. But what I thought was a novelty until it was explained to me, just this one spot, I wound up seeing this all over the city. And apparently, it's a very interesting type of thing too. I had not seen that anywhere in the States. So that's what that is. Yes, go back to that. Yeah. The tip, yes. Yes, the tip is soaked in water. Oh, the work that he's doing, what causes the work to be black? It's not really black, it's wet. In other words, all that is just slate that you'd see in any kind of park or whatnot. That's just dusty slate. And the same thing around here, if you just have any kind of slate, if you take your finger, dip it in water and go like that, you're just seeing it darker because of the water. That's all that is. But yeah, that's nothing but water, and that's nothing but just the ground. It's not even a special area. They just do it on sidewalks and whatnot. You're right, if it was a cement concrete sidewalk, which is a little brighter, you probably wouldn't see that. But I think the fact that this is slate, which is underlying more dark, that it shows up like that. Very hard to do this in the rain, so yes, you can go on to the next one. The other thing you'll find fascinating that I've seen in a number of countries now is that I thought was an American phenomenon is a tremendous amount of cosplay. This is in the heart of Beijing. They're dressed up as Japanese geisha as well, but there are a lot of young people going around dressed up in extensive costumes, not costumes like Comic-Con here or whatnot, but there it was such as imperial empresses, geishas, things of that sort. And I just thought that you could see the nails, the 9-inch nails on that right there too. The costumes are extremely intricate, as is the makeup. And they will do this just for fun and just wander the city. I thought it was interesting to see both of them just on the phone. To me, it was the contrast between the modern phone and the ancient costumes, but a fairly common sight. Okay, we can go to the next one. This was on the Yangtze River. There is when they built the Three Gorges Dam and dammed up the Yangtze River, it changed the whole topography there. And there was one town that wound up being cut off, and it was mostly old people, and it was on a peninsula and just the geography of it, it was basically cut off from the mainland. And the people there lost their livelihoods, they lost their homes and whatnot, and the government then not recreated, but rehabilitated this town and allowed the old people to stay in it, and they all get little government subsidies. So you have this ancient little town on the Yangtze River, mostly of older people who were living there on government subsidies. And as you walk down the street, it's very interesting. And a lot of during the day, it was very hot there. And in the doorway, there's just a woman just kind of sitting, looking out, that I thought was just an interesting sight. Okay. And there was another one too, just a lot of just sitting around, just kind of watching and waiting. So again, just makes for some interesting street scenes, but again, very old town. You could see the old woodwork and old stone masonry there. And again, the government basically supports them, and this is just a little thing that sticks out onto the Yangtze, and is just kind of lost to the world there. And this was an interesting scene. This was a dragon parade. You could see the rain. There is the leader there there is some ceremonial thing to the thing that they are holding up front as they lead the group on, and you could see them. The interesting thing is this was around, I'd say, 1 PM on a bright sunny day. That water is all artificial. That comes from little things there, and this is one of their little attractions there. As they march and they get at the top of the stairs, they turn on the water, which is basically hoses. And they have hoses from the windows out there that come down, and it looks like rain, so they could make this appear like a rain scene. But I'm standing totally in the dry there in the middle of the street, in order to be totally honest here as well. But again, very interesting little ceremonies they have, and this is again in that little town. I think that's it. Yep.
Okay, I went through a time in the late 80s when my wife had to work in another city, and for about 3 months I had to go and drop her off at a train station in the middle of nowhere, so she could get to her job in time at about 8 AM. So for about 3 months, I photographed rail cars and steam trains and all types of stuff. This is just one of those. In South Africa, there's a tribe called the Ndebele, and once a year, just after the rainy season, they paint their walls these amazing colors and designs, and they'd been doing that for hundreds of years, and it's really interesting to just walk around some of their villages and just talk with them and so on. They used to have these rings around their necks, and it used to go on and just stay there. And when I approached this woman, she asked me if I wanted the rings, and I said yes. And she went and just velcroed on. And I was so disgusted by that. Okay, next one. That's also from the Ndebele village. And wherever you go, with the Ndebele people, you obviously get kids. I went back to this one a whole bunch of times over 4 or 5 years. I was trying to tell a story of the Ndebele, and just going back and seeing the same people and so on. And this is also at an Ndebele house. Back to the steam trains. There's an area. Excuse me. There's an area near Johannesburg where they have a steam yard, and they only really maintain the steam trains for show. It's not really, they're not using it. So every now and again, they let people know that they're gonna start them up, and there's lots of steam and lots of nice light and so on. And there was a guy getting into one of them. And that's along the villages. I fell in love with cross-cultural photography, and a friend and I would just go and risk our lives and go walk around in the townships and just find good light and some faces. Ah.
And that's it for the evening. Thank you for coming. Hold on, we have a question.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize we were gonna shut down. About 3 weeks ago, I made an announcement that there was a Special Olympics basketball tournament coming up, and I got the name of the Northeast Regional Director and called her to explain to her about our service to Special Olympics in the past and this basketball tournament coming up. And I explained to her that all we needed from her was to send a request to the community service to supply photographers to do it. And secretly, my hope was that we could resurrect that which we've done in the past. She's never bothered to call or to send a message. I understand from a friend of hers that she's very busy. She's got a couple of young kids, et cetera, et cetera. But it certainly appears that they don't care if they have pictures or not. So for those who got the first announcement, who may have been planning on participating, I'm sorry to say we ain't doing it. So thank you.